who has decided that they have taken some time to really like kind of read the room or understand themselves and what they want to a better degree, and they've acted on those things that they have learned about themselves. And there's been an awakening. So we have someone who is seeing things differently. They have reprioritized the people or things in their life, maybe even the goals or pursuits that are important. And I feel like this is kind of resulted in you being placed at the top or very near to the top, and they want to see what can be done to reconcile after things kind of got a little bit dicey between the two of you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Hello, April. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box along with more information on how to become a member if you're interested in more content, and also how to find my homemade soy candles on Etsy. Let's dive in with the noisy tarot, but also just a quick reminder that if you want a personal reading with me, remember I will never hit you up in the comments to get you to want one. You have to email me if you want a personal reading, all right? There's an impersonator out there, I think. I'm not sure if YouTube has dealt with it yet. All right, what else do we have? We have the Nine of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. So someone feels like they have been able to achieve something that was a little bit difficult for them previously, and it is creating a greater sense of balance for them, and they have I don't know, it's like they feel they've mastered emotional maturity, or they feel like they're capable of an emotional connection. So this King of Cups and Queen of Pentacles, they're both this one person's energy. I feel like I'm more grounded. I feel like I understand what I want. I feel like I know which direction I need to head in life. Hello, James. Hello, Delinia. Hello, Tara by Nature. What's up? Yeah, they haven't been sending out my notifications. This is a little bothersome for me. Little frustrated. Hopefully they fix that. Hey, Angel. You want to try that again and not use all caps, please? I would appreciate that. Kind of feels like you're yelling. So we have the Ten of Cups in the reverse, the Three of Cups. Hello, Lynn. How's it going? Ooh, please do not call me Mama. Please call me Carmen. What else do we have? Five of Pentacles and Death. So someone has gone through probably a dark night of the soul. I do think this is a person who has had some negative influences or toxic individuals, and they may have had to end some friendships or maybe even end a relationship, possibly have a conversation or forgive folks in their family. But this Death card is very similar to the rebirth of the Spring card. Transformation and looking at things through new lenses, right? Fresh eyes. So even though it has been a little bit challenging for this person to go it alone or have to kind of pare back what they have in their life, I do think that they have greater appreciation for how things are going, and they feel like they've been able to get through a rough patch in their life, even if it was a bit lonely. Knight of Pentacles, or the High Priestess, and the Six of Cups in the reverse. So we have some kind of immature behavior or a pattern of behavior that was maybe even a little bit of a sabotage attempt, or maybe learned behavior from the family. We could have somebody here who is breaking a generational curse. If you've never heard that term before, basically that would be the patterns, behaviors, or attachment styles that we might learn from the way we were raised. So whether it's raised by your grandfather, adopted, or whatever, the things that we are taught as a child, some of those things we have to unlearn because they weren't really the best, right? What we have is someone who's realized this is what I need to change and this is what I need to do if I want to be happy and be able to connect with people emotionally. So they have let go of some approach that did not serve them well and led to a lot of grief or regret. And I do feel like they have potentially gone no contact with someone from their past. We have the Two of Cups in the reverse, Justice, and Moon. So they have been able to make a difficult decision regarding a person who has influenced them, perhaps a bit negatively, or encouraged kind of like immature or toxic behavior. They're no longer taking advice from that person, or they have cut that person out of their life entirely. This is the Golden Art Nouveau. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? Oh, I hope you have a delightful time. Oh, that's great, Navin. How you doing? What else do we have? We have the Empress in the reverse, the Six of Swords, and another Two of Cups in the reverse. So there's an issue here in terms of now that I've dealt with this block, now that I feel more capable of a mature emotional relationship, how can I address the breakup with you, right? How can I reconcile and solve these issues now that I feel more emotionally capable of, understanding where you're coming from and how to fix things, right? Hello, Skimmy. How are we doing today? I hope your weekend is going well. Was my first life on planet... Oh, am I going to be able to say that? My first life on planet Trappist 1E? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so because of the Aquarius energy, I don't know if I'm saying it the way I'm supposed to, so you let me know. I'm writing it the way you put it. Okay. Hello, Victoria. Hello, Magoo. How are we doing? Hello, Ryan. I hope you're having a good day. Skimmy, I've got that on the list. And we're at just under 8 minutes, by the way. For those of you that are new, I start those personal questions at about 30 or 35 minutes, which is after the general reading. So we have the Moon in the reverse with the Four of Wands, and it looks like this is saying that spiritual awakening or that, leveling up, if you will, after somebody had kind of struggled with the inner elements, the dark, like the shadow work that they needed to deal with, or the attachments that might have been as a result of that relationship or family teachings that aren't necessarily the best, right? Sorry, hon. We don't fall for those things here. But if you would like to actually participate in the live chat, you are welcome to. Otherwise, keep it moving. Hello, Deepak. How you doing? We've got the Queen of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Fool. You're the Queen of Cups. They view you as someone who has taught them about emotional connections or unconditional love. You seem to have had the ability to connect with them without letting fear get in the way or without being prone to those toxic attachment styles. And this is someone who feels like there's a chance you've already moved on, maybe even met someone new, or that you've already let go of this connection. So their hope is maybe you would still be open to a second chance, right? Hey, Lucifer. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. So don't tell me what I mean, okay? Hello. I think I already did say hello. Hello, Redbeard. Hello, Joe. How are you doing? It just kind of depends on how things go. But Joao, I would ask if you're gonna show up in the live chat. Maybe don't make that the first thing that you ask. You know I love you. But I do like to give those out to people that haven't had freebies before. Yes, exactly. So we've got the Three of Cups in the reverse, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. So how do I ensure that you don't look at my offer of love after I've gone through this spiritual awakening as something that is just kind of trivial or not serious? With the Three of Cups in the reverse, there is a concern you would leave this person on red, or you wouldn't necessarily believe that they have had a change of heart or that they would approach that connection differently, right? Hello, Michael. How are you doing? We've got the Star in the reverse and the Ten of Cups in the reverse. So I think this is someone who moved away, or perhaps you've moved away, but there's been physical distance in addition to that emotional distance. So it looks like you have been relatively uninformed in terms of what has been going on for this person's life. I do think you pretty regularly focus on your own healing path. But with that Five of Cups, whoever I'm reading for, I do think there is this question in your mind. What happened with this person and why didn't things go the way I had hoped with them? Which to me might be suggesting that you would be at least open to hearing from this person. Not necessarily guaranteeing that there would be another chance, but I don't know that you've completely closed the book on it, you know? So we have Death, Knight of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. They're coming back around. See, most of the time when you have the Death card, we have just like a skeleton on a horse, right? With some armor, you know? A little bit more indicative of what people I think kind of fear on Death, even though you still have like the flower on the flag. There's some elements of hope on that card as well. This one seems to be a bit more romantic and a bit more open to things going well. And we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, which is where we want it if you want somebody to come back around anyways, because that's a return. Knight of Swords, I feel like I need to communicate with you. I want to see if there's any chance that we could make this work. And maybe there's a sense of urgency for them as well. Hello, Sanzu. Let's not ask ages. It's just like something you shouldn't do in general. Well, I mean, it's good to know that you're dating someone who's over 18, right? But, like, I'm not here to date, so that doesn't apply. That is a very comprehensive block, then. Hello, Joseph. Feel free to attach your question to a super chat, and I will do that after the general reading. Hello, Tay. How are you doing? So we have the Nine of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Emperor in the reverse, and the Three of Swords. So they had some issues in terms of feeling a little bit uncomfortable with continuing to invest in a connection. I do think this was fear of abandonment, but it could also have been just, fear of a broken heart. And I think this is something that would tie back to their childhood or something that had happened to them in years past. But they needed to get a bit of a grasp on how they handle these situations, especially if it leads to some self-sabotaging. With the Three of Swords, they feel like because they prioritize this healing for themselves, they feel like they ended up hurting you. So when they come back around, it looks to me like one of the things that they would be prioritizing or that they feel like they need to do is to apologize and tell you that, I wish that I had handled things differently. I feel like I could have been more communicative and let you know. I didn't really know how to approach this connection without, causing some drama. I wish I had communicated a little bit more with you about what was going on and let you know that it wasn't your fault. But apparently that was not in the cards, or that didn't happen. They do feel like apologizing, though. Hello, Nausicaa. How are you doing? Aw. Too many people do that, napping. Hello, Charlabite. That's okay. But no skin off my butt. King of Swords in the reverse and the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. So I wasn't ready for that long-term relationship, but I also wasn't the best at communicating, and I regret that I was not more capable of letting you know what was going on, and I wish I hadn't just left you kind of wondering what was going on. But now I'm back. I feel like I've been able to work on the things that were a problem or a block before. And they've decided they're ready to communicate with you. They want to let you know that circumstances have changed, that they've been able to distance themselves from behaviors or people that were a block to your relationship in the past. This is the Fairy Godmother Oracle. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. That means a lot to me. What else? Rejection. So they're worried that they made you feel rejected, that maybe you took it a little bit more personally, when really what they were trying to do is figure themselves out and understand what they wanted or how to approach romance in their own way instead of maybe what they had seen others do. Companionship and venture. Yeah. They feel like they have completed a journey. They feel like they are more spiritually whole. They understand themselves in a way that enables them to look at companionship or long-term relationship as something that is more possible or not as scary, right? I feel like I'm actually ready for that relationship. I don't need to be running away from it. This is the Untold Messages of the Heart. What's up, James? I hope your weekend's going well. Well, if they haven't worked on anything, then do they really deserve another chance? Hello, Crom. How are you doing? So we have, I want you close to me, but I'm not ready for a commitment. I don't know what has happened between us. If you're confused, I'm confused too. So that was more likely the Queen of Cups or your energy. They weren't ready for a commitment, but they weren't very communicative as far as letting you know that they needed space. I need to take a step back because I'm still trying to figure out what I want. Mistake. I made the wrong turn, and honestly, the grass wasn't greener over there. So this is also leaning towards, maybe the person they had to cut off, or one of the things they had to deal with as far as their spiritual awakening was acknowledging that an ex or somebody who was potentially a romantic rival of yours was not the right move, or was not somebody that aligns with their best interest or a more mature relationship. Hey, Brewer King, how are you doing? Camo, feel free to attach that to a super chat. I do the personal questions in a little over 10 minutes. So we've got planning, rejection, and guilt. I know that I want you in my future. I am working on making the proper plans. I'm uneasy about myself. I don't know if I can truly make you happy. Hurting you was never my intention, but now it's hurting me too. So I do think that they have a desire to apologize for not handling things the right way before, not communicating the way that they should have. They didn't feel great about what they had to offer, but they do know that how they handled things hurt you, and this distance is something they don't want to continue to endure. Hello, Melissa. How are you doing? Let's see. This is the Love Tarot. I'm doing well. Thank you, Hurricanes. What else do we have? The future. I daydream about our future together, going on adventures and growing old together. I want it all. Nervous. You make me nervous. Even just thinking about you, I get nervous. I'm not sure what to say or how to act around you. Father wounds. My father is a big influence on my behavior now as an adult. I have challenges with connecting to the divine masculine energy within me and externally. Did we have the Emperor in the reverse at some point? I don't see it. That might have... Oh, we did. So this Emperor in the reverse could be tied to this Father Wounds card. Somebody who had struggled with that divine masculine energy, being able to, pursue what they want or address the things they needed to. But acknowledging that this was something that needed to be dealt with, and then also, dealing with it, has been more of a focus for them as of late. And it's helping them to let go of some of those nerves or the things that prevent them from being happy in a relationship. I've been dreaming about you. In my dreams, we are so free and in love. I wish I could stay there forever. You're mine. I get so pissed knowing other people can have you now. Is it toxic? Yeah, I don't care. I want the world to know you're mine. Uh-oh. So just because someone's working on their healing doesn't mean that they're going to come out the other side of that healing era and be like, perfect, shiny, brand new, nothing wrong here. This is still someone who might have some possessive qualities or traits that need to be, kind of addressed. But they do feel like when they come through, they need to apologize for how things happened, and they are concerned that perhaps you are interested in somebody new and they want to prove, right, that they're better. Yep. Let's see. I think I got everyone. All right, let's get a few from... We're going to go with the Mystical Cat Tarot, because we don't have any cats represented yet. What else do we have, please? The Empress in the reverse. The Hermit. The Ten of Sky. And the Priest or the Hierophant in the reverse. So yes, they've learned how to let go of some of these old habits that didn't really serve them well. I do think that in particular this had to do with emotions, but also with those father wound cards coming out, perhaps taking action towards things, right? We've got this Ten of Sky, a sense of things being over, and the Hierophant in the reverse because somebody was struggling with how to approach that long-term connection with you. So the question is, are you interested if this person comes back around? Are you going to assume that it's going to be a repeat of the same thing that happened? Five of Sky or Five of Swords in the reverse. Six of Sky or Six of Swords and the Moon. Very interesting. So the Five of Sky being in the reverse is someone who's trying to make amends, right? We've had some issues or there was some confusion, but now I want to make sure that you know where I'm coming from. I want to make things right. But this is making me a little bit concerning because notice we have the same like stature here for these two cats. It looks to me like there's been a lot that this person has overcome and a lot that they are able to better understand about themselves and their approach to romance. But with the moon, we might still have some issues with, secrecy. The Emperor. The Sky Kitten, which would be the Page of Swords. And the Eight of Sky or Eight of Swords in the reverse. So let's not expect perfection. This is someone who still probably needs to work on some communication, but they have made a lot of progress with regards to understanding what they want and approaching things in a more direct or communicative way. It's just a matter of acknowledging that you want to use your discernment and not just assume that this person is perfect, right? So Fire Tom or the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Earth or Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. They're coming through and what they want is a relationship. They want commitment. They don't want to be on their own anymore. They're not afraid of relationships the way that they had been in the past. Ace of Earth or Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. The problem here is you might feel like this ship has sailed. I don't know if I could trust you based on how things were in the past. You kind of left me without any kind of clue as to what was going on. You might just feel like that trust was broken and it's kind of impossible to get back to where you had wanted it to be. Yes, forgiveness is a big part of that. I do think that they have forgiven the family members or the people of their past that had kind of instilled this fear in them. But for the Queen of Cups, there may still be, a resistance to a second chance because I don't know if I can rebuild that trust. Yeah, another Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Maybe it's a matter of you really have to earn my trust. Maybe we could be friends first and see how that goes. But to be honest, it kind of feels to me like this Queen of Cups is saying, I've already cut the cord on that. I've already felt like it wasn't going to work out. And even though I'm upset that things didn't work out, I don't really want to be looking towards the past or, maybe they've already got someone new that they're interested in. Seven of Petals or Seven of Pentacles. The Eight of Crystals or Eight of Swords in the reverse. 10 of Petals or 10 of Pentacles, and Empress in the reverse. Yeah, I think this is a matter of I am grateful to get the apology, maybe even some forgiveness here, right? But as far as moving forward and trying to pursue a long-term relationship with you, I'm not sure that that's something that I can do at this point, right? It's like, I wish you well. I'm glad that you've been able to work on those things. But I think maybe that was our opportunity, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. Six of Jars and which is the Six of Cups, Five of Crystals or Five of Swords in the reverse. That's the apology, hoping to reconcile. But the thing is, it looks like the Queen of Cups is saying, that's really just like not what I'm looking to do. I don't want to move backwards. I'm trying to see if they're interested in someone new. Does the Queen of Cups have somebody new? Yeah, Six of Petals. There's, I think, someone else who's caught this person's eye. It's not necessarily saying, okay, where did you go? It's not necessarily saying that they have to be, like, in a relationship or committed to someone. I don't know where that card went, you guys. Are you under the table? Sorry, I'm going to have to find it after the reading. Don't know. But with the Six of Pentacles, that can often be pictured as somebody who's giving to two people. So it looks like we have someone who's already kind of investing in a new connection. So I appreciate the apology, but I can't just like switch gears and connect with you. I've already been, kind of interested in this other person. So we've got the Four of Jars, which is the Four of Cups, the rejection card, which we did get earlier a few times as well. So sometimes it's just about being able to communicate and close out that chapter, understand, where things went or how it happened, but timing may not be working in favor of this King of Cups or the person who's coming back around. Yeah, I think that's totally fair, Melissa. I found somebody else to make me a sandwich. All right, let's see what we've got for Skemmy. We're going to go with the Blood Moon Tarot. And what do we have for Skemmy regarding the first life? Was Skemmy's first life on planet TRAPPIST-1e? Was Skemmy's first life on planet TRAPPIST-1e? This says yes. And apparently the number 8 is important as well. And we've got the Six of Skins or Six of Wands. There was something that you were very successful in your previous life. I feel like it was not that you were the richest person in the world. It was that you managed to navigate several difficult turns. You pivot, you change, you transform as needed. So you were seen as a bit of a phoenix. So if you feel a close connection to phoenix, like symbolism, that would be why. It's tied to your previous life. We have the Four of Honey or the Four of Pentacles, and the Ace of Honey or the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, you're like a master of landing on your feet in difficult situations, and that led you to navigate a lot of difficult things in your previous life that other people kind of like gave up on or weren't as prepared to deal with. So you've retained some energy here that enables you to kind of, like cats have 9 lives, they're always land on their feet, that kind of thing. Hello, Neo, how are you doing? Why is it saying don't go there? To the planet? Well, let's just see. Why is it saying don't go there? Strength and 7 of Songs. There's an illusion. You think you know everything, or you think you know something, but you don't have the full picture. So knowledge is power. You have to know more before going there. Tower in the reverse, King of Skins or King of Wands in the reverse. It's like you're not ready for that battle, or you're not armed with what you need to be in order to be successful. So timing is not right. Hello, Heidi. How are you doing? Thank you for the floating hearts. All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping the video if you're able to. And I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.